Guys, later yung virtual tour natin, magpe-play lang kami ng mga videos. Bale, pre-shooted na yun ni Sir Albert. Tapos after nun, i-add siya ni Sir Josh dito para ma-address niya yung mga questions natin tungkol sa Tagaytay Radar Facility.
By the way, we are live on YouTube. So kung may mga classmates man kayo na hindi available, they can review that. And yung ating capacity kasi for the room is only 100 and we are, I think, more than that. So if ever they are unavailable, they can still watch on YouTube and then message us their questions if they have any. So on my clock is 9:58. Is everybody here? We're still admitting people. Siguro in 2 minutes at exactly 10 a.m. we can start. Okay, so please do stand by. Thank you. Sir Saldi, thank you for joining us. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning po, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning po.
Much for participating in today's
Good morning.
webinar. Some few reminders though, please be responsible in making your microphones in muting. One little trick, when unmuting and muting, you can use the space button. Long press lang if you want to speak something, and then pagka in-press mo na yung space, mamumute na siya. So later, pagka may questions kayo, short questions and or short reactions, press na lang yung space button if you are using your laptops. Some few reminders as well, to only use the chat box, Zoom chat box for questions and answers that are for questions later sa ating Q&A portion. Okay. If you have concerns, you can message your officers sa GC ninyo, existing GC, or I think pwede rin dito sa Zoom. No? I have disabled yung chatting and put it only on host mode. Now you can message only the host, that's me. And further, I will now be disabling the mic. Okay. And then enabling it later for, please mute your mics po. I will enable it later na lang for the question and answers. Okay.
Hello.
Ayun. Hi, sir. Good morning po.
Good morning. Can I request everyone to turn on your video?
Okay. By the way, for the sake of our guest speaker, si Sir Raim, Sir Zaldi is our Dean of the College of Engineering, Architecture, and Technology. Thanks for joining us this morning, sir. As per request, guys, please turn on your videos now. Also, if I may request, please rename your your names here, and please remove yung surname ninyo for privacy concerns, no? So that later, kapag meron tayong group picture, hindi na namin sila i-blur out. So either your initials or better, or your first names or nicknames or initials, that would be fine as long as wala sigurong surnames. Jerson, please rename. Hannah May, please rename. Prince, please rename. Ramon, Ramses, please rename. John Philip. Yeah. Sir Saldi, do you have any other concerns po?
Okay na ako, Josh.
Okay, sir. So I guess we can proceed with today's webinar. I am very pleased to introduce our speaker this morning. He is a graduate of the Mapua Institute of Technology, minor in object-oriented database. He studied MS Computer Science in Mapua and Masters in Divinity in Asian Theological Seminary. He became a faculty in Mapua School of IT in 2010, teaching on topics like .NET, object-oriented programming, database management. He worked in the software development industry for 15 years. He worked in top Fortune 500 companies like Hewlett-Packard, Accenture, and Microsoft. He is ITIL certified, Agile Leadership certified, and a Microsoft certified professional. Currently, he is a VP or Vice President of Solution Architecture in ecomparemo.com. Visit that website, guys. It's a good website for comparing credit cards. And leads the implementation of DevOps and Agile methodology for C88 Engineering Department. He is also the president of Christ Life Prayer Ministry, a faith-based community with over 40 churches and schools in the Philippines. He is also a career coach, mentoring young people for career growth, leadership, and personal development. And I would like to quote, in case you haven't seen, oo, ikaw, uulitin ko, love when you are ready, not because you're the only one left in your batch that is single or still single, not because of the peer pressure that your family is hinting, not because the person you're with is the only one who give a damn about you. Love when your heart is ready to love. Don't force love if it's not there. Love yourself, love the wait, and love the life you have. Guys, please help me warmly welcome Mr. Ephraim Canete. Please turn on your mics and help me welcome Reverend Raim Canete. Guys. Welcome, sir. Good morning
Welcome
po.
po.
Welcome, sir.
Sir Raim. Sorry. Ayun, okay.
Yan, naka-unmute ako. Hello everyone, I'm Ephraim Canete and nice to see you. Okay, I'm sorry. Sabi niya naka-stop daw yung video ko.
Yes, sir. Naka-disable po. Or naka-stop.
You can't start your video because the host has stopped it, sabi.
Wait. Mhm, mhm. Eto po. Yan.
Hello guys!
Yan. Great.
Good morning sa inyo lahat and salamat na nag-join kayo and I appreciate Josh for inviting me here. It's nice to see students and also faculty also working for this particular times and alam ko it's a struggle to learn but never stop learning. Yeah.
Yes. Nagustuhan mo ba, sir, yung intro ko sa'yo?
Oo nga, nagulat ako kasi parang may about love doon. By the way, I'm still single.
I love it. Anyway,
I'm
so
still
yung format natin today, guys, will be something kind of an interview, semi-lecture type. So I will be facilitating today's discussion. I will be asking Sir Rain some questions and he will expound on it. And then I hope you learned something from the engagement that we're going to have this morning. So siguro just to warm up the conversation, let me ask, sir, allow me to start by asking, why did you take up a technology course in Mapua?
So actually, technology wasn't my first choice. I really wanted to go for medicine and unfortunately parang quota course yun. Hindi naman ako ganun ka-bright. masipag lang naman ako. So then parang meron rin akong parang educational plan and pasok yung Mapua. And I just went ahead for Mapua and tried. I love technology when I was still in high school. I started VB programming already when I was parang third year or second year ata. Yep. And I think nakakahiligan ko yung programming. Then, yun, I went to IT.
Nice, nice. So, another siguro warm-up question. What was your favorite subject or least favorite subject during college?
Ang favorite subject ko is math. Okay, kasi
Wow.
parang I have parang knack in mathematics, yung mga algorithms and yung mga mga mathematical formula. Tapos ang least favorite ko yung physics kasi sobrang terror yung professor ko nun. Parang alos 50% ata binabaksak niya by default. So parang yung passing rate is really hard.
Sounds familiar.
Parang naka-masters ka na ng physics kasi 4 mo na natinig. Pero pero hindi naman ako bumagsak. I love mathematics, so I think sa physics there's a lot of math then. Ayun, okay naman. I really hate the subject but I learned a lot. Yeah.
Wow, that's so nice to hear. All right. So, electronics engineering is a wide field, no po? And has many concentrations. Actually, in DLSUD, we currently offer 3 tracks. We have the microelectronics track, we have the communications, and the ICT tracks. Well, in recent years, there's been a rising trend of our graduates taking software engineering jobs at top IT companies like Accenture, IBM, HP, and others. I actually have some batchmates who are already have been in quite mid-level positions there. Now, we would like to know, first, my first question is, what is software in engineering? Can you tell us more about this? Oops. Wait, sir. Oops. Sorry.
All right. So for me, yung definition ng software engineering from IEEE, na it's an application of engineering principles dun sa development of software. So that means that that's all about parang yung mga design principles at saka building principles is applied to developing applications, and applications and software are really a set of instruction performing a particular functionality. So ayun, it's really nice domain right now because it's really trending, and we can see that parang ang tawag ito, nagiging ubiquitous na rin yung trend for technology and yung mga technology careers kasi it's everything involves technology from medicine to to different fields like retail industry, e-commerce, saka sa mga iba't ibang mga field of sciences. Okay, so halos parang pervasive na siya dun sa lahat ng mga industry, and yun, parang by default then, okay, in the future, all the jobs are relating to technology one way or another. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, having that said, what are the fundamentals po, sir, of software engineering?
Okay, so sa software engineering, there's something called application lifecycle management. Okay, so that means that pwede ba ako mag-share ng slides kasi may slides ako na prepare.
Yes, sir.
Ayan. Okay.
Share screen.
So I'll share my screen. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen, guys. And so can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Okay, so ang application lifecycle management, it starts with really from software requirements. That means that gathering the requirements from the business, understanding ano yung ang tawag dito, what problems that you want to solve. Okay, and from there, okay, you build your applications, that's software design. So software design involves architectural work, like designing software, okay, ano yung like for example, mga iba't ibang mga design patterns, and kasi may mga design principles, just like I've said earlier, sa software engineering, may design patterns. That means that yung ina-apply mo yung mga parang common patterns that you see in the world, okay, and object-oriented na patterns, okay, and then you apply it into your software design principles, okay, in order to build robust and solid application. Okay, and from software design, okay, from there, okay, is software development. Software development is the ability to build yung application, okay, by parang mapping yung functional requirements to the technical specifications nung mga requirements na yun. And after building, okay, there's something called continuous integration or software deployment. Okay, and software maintenance. So that involves yung integration, deployment, operation. So what you can see in the screen are all different types of software, and makikita mo na parang the field of software engineering, there are many places that you can learn and many fields that you can apply, from project management principle, or from business analysis principle, from engineering principle, like building the application itself, okay, from designing the application, dalawang type ng design. Okay, yung isa is software architecture, that means that yung understanding ano yung infrastructure, yung technology, okay, that is involved from platform level, okay, from application level, okay, aside yung mga functional level. Okay, and then okay, design those software. Another landscape is from maintaining the application. That's the operational part. Okay, that means that you make sure that your applications is available, hindi nagda-down, di ba? You experience kada yung mga games nyo naglalag. Okay, that means that yung mga software operators okay, needs to make sure that the applications are robust, reliable, and available. Okay, and deploying yung mga patches in terms of security. Okay, so those are the different fields okay, that actually you can really apply your software engineering principles. So yung application lifecycle, okay, starting from software requirements, okay, software design, software development, okay, and after software development is software testing. Okay, that means that you need to test the application okay, scientifically based on empirical na analysis, like kung ano nga ba yung mga areas na nagda-down, ano yung mga bugs, may security issues. Okay, and then after testing your application, another thing is okay, yung software maintenance, yun yung sinabi ko na parang to maintain it, or to make it available for users. Let's say, for example, you have 100 users, okay, that gumagana yung application mo, and what if you scale, like for example naging public ka, okay, that means that you require additional server, okay, you need also to think about that. So those are the different fields and different fundamentals for software engineering that you can really parang put your hands into. So yeah, that's just a high-level overview.
All right. Thank you so much. Sir, medyo confused lang ako, sir, no? Because I see a lot of terms going around,
Sure.
especially between the difference between a software developer, a software engineer, and a software architect. Can you please differentiate it for us?
All right, so I'm gonna break down yung mga different tawag ito, fields at saka yung mga different tawag ito, job roles specifically for software engineering. So let's start with, as you said, yung three, but there are a lot of jobs, job roles or skill set that is around software engineering. So let's start with software engineer. So from the word engineer itself, that means that you're maintaining and you're building the application. It's similar to software developer. So interchangeable yun dun sa software engineering language or vocabulary. So software developers can be software engineers, and software engineers can also be software developers. But software engineering is focused on the design principle, and yung software developers are for building that particular requirement. So on another end, the software architect, has experience on a lot of building ng mga applications natin. And then nakikita niya yung mga patterns and best practices and mga designs na yun. So software architect are experts, subject matter experts on their particular field or industry that is focused on designing yung mga applications na yun. So like mapping yung mga functional requirements. Functional requirements means yung mga requirements ng mga mga stakeholders or mga clients with regards to mga software request nila. So another role aside from software architects and software engineers and software developers are software analysts. Software analysts are in charge, or business analysts are in charge of gathering those information from the clients. Like for example, yung scope nun, gaano kalaki yung project, kung ano yung mga dapat na i-build sa project, at saka ano yung mga dapat na mga problems na i-address para ma-solve yung particular na problem na yun. So those are your software analyst or system analyst or business analyst. So nandun sila sa analysis part, but they are not building or implementing. So the next is software testers. Software testers make sure na ang tawag dito, yung mga application doesn't have any bug, it's responsive, tapos there's no known errors. Yung first nga na parang ang tawag dito, yung first na job offer sa akin is mag-test ng mga PlayStation games. Pero I turn it down kasi that's software testing are related to quality assurance, QA process, and yung software development are building. So yung software testers or QAs natin are ang tawag dito, are destroying yung mga application and trying to find yung mga ang tawag dito, yung mga errors or bugs that are related to the system, and yung software engineers are building the applications together. So those are the few roles that is inherent dun sa software engineering practices. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Now, well, ang dami pala, no? Hindi lang siya incubated or hindi siya limited into those job descriptions or job titles. Now, with that, no, what do you think can you share with us, no po, some emerging trends and challenges that you're facing right now in your field?
Okay, so right now, hindi ko ang tawag dito, hindi ko masasabing maganda yung nadulot ng ang tawag dito ng pandemic recently. But ang emerging trend right now is digital transformation for the different businesses. Kasi right now movements are hindered. That means that yung parang actual face-to-face na ang tawag dito, interaction with the clients are are paused for now, but okay, it can parang there's channels okay that you can use, okay, especially technologies okay that can help you bridge that particular challenges. And almost yung mga businesses that doesn't innovate technology, ang nangyari sa kanila, okay, they were disrupted. And these digital disruptions will still continue okay, in the next okay, 2 to 5 years. So you will see trends like yung mga like sa ano natin sa educational field, okay, they will implement okay ang tawag dito, learning systems that are online, okay, dun sa mga retail industries natin, yung mga dating I think mawawala yung mga parang actual in-store na hindi na mawawala pero ma-reduce around 20% yung mga in-store buying. Tapos mako-convert sila more on ang tawag dito on the technology side. So from an actual retail space, meron silang parang tindahan or mga boutique shops, okay, na makikita nyo dun sa mga malls. Okay, most likely they will convert into warehouses, okay, hindi dun sa mall mismo. Okay, may mga ibang mga positions sila. Tapos places okay, to store those goods, and they will concentrate on the supply chain and the retail management. So more and more there will be an increase okay, on the technology. Sabi nga nila, this is a Industry 4.0 revolution. Okay, that means that okay, the trend is going now okay, towards yung mga ang tawag dito, sa mga technology okay, first businesses. So if you can see okay, lahat ng mga hindi nag-innovate okay, ng mga it's so unfortunate yung mga businesses okay, are disrupted right now and they will be forced okay, to innovate, use this particular technologies, and therefore increase yung mga software engineers also in the future. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. No, sir, with 15 years of overall IT and software development experience and solution design and technical architecture experience, working and developing teams, please share with us, how are you able to progress with your career, and what skills, training, and experience did you have to achieve where you are now?
Yeah, so actually that's really interesting question because after college, okay, what I did is parang syempre naghanap ako ng work. Okay, wala naman talaga akong parang pinaka-focus na I want to do in life. I just know that I have strong skill set on technology, okay, and alam ko siya i-explain. So most probably na parang I know na parang I can build on top of those strengths. Kasi ba't ka naman magiging English teacher kung hindi ka naman magaling sa English? Okay, so ngayon magaling naman ako sa mga technology stuff. So I pushed myself into technology space. But before that, meron akong parang enlightenment moment. Kaya I went to seminary. Okay, and then I spent around 4 to 5 years there studying a master's in Divinity, major in pastoral studies. So from there, okay, I understand ano yung mga parang tawag ito, existential needs ng mga tao. And then, okay, one of the professor asked me, okay, na parang it's not in the seminary that you can really find yung helping people. Kasi I just wanna put put a dent on the world na parang I know that I have a difference. And hindi ka naman magkakaroon ng parang world peace, di ba? Na parang hindi mo naman kaya yun mag-isa. So sabi ko, I just wanna go out there, and then I thought that seminary degree will really help me. But inside the seminary, sinasabi niya na actually ang actual seminary is the world itself. Okay, so when sabi ng isang professor ko to go back dun sa context ko, and my context are yung technology space. So what I did is after yung seminary, I went back. I was invited in Mapua to teach in the School of IT. And then I studied masters in computer science, major in software engineering. Okay, and I teach students. I learn more about technology, its software analysis and design, mga principles, and naging passionate ako in teaching students na parang there's more to to technology. So what happened there is parang I started with education space first. Okay, and then later on since I matured, okay, dun sa education space, I was invited by a friend na parang, oh, please join our company. So that's Hewlett Packard. Okay, and from there, okay, naging engineer ako. Okay, so, syempre naman magkaiba yung teaching sa actual na na development. So nahirapan pa ako nun kasi yung mga kasamaan ko parang 4 years na silang nag-develop, tas ako parang baguhan pa lang, parang entry level pa lang. Okay, syempre nahirapan ako. Pero I know yung mga principles behind that because I teach those principles as well. Okay, so after noon, I work hard, I studied, okay, kasi ang pinaka what I can really parang be proud of myself is actually dedicate around 1 to 2 hours per day to study. Okay, wow. So that means that okay, for those na parang hindi ko pa learn kasi actually when in college only parang 10% lang ata yung ma-retain mo pagdating mo din sa industry. So doesn't mean na parang ready ka na okay, when you apply that particular job. So what I did is I supplement those things. Hindi ko sinisi na parang ay kulang yung ginawa ng Mapua or kulang yung parang experiences ko or something like that. So what I did is I complemented those yung mga things na parang kailangan ko, and then I studied really hard. Okay, so I studied yung mga latest na mga technology, yung mga trends, okay, yung mga cloud, okay, and yung sa mga networking and dun sa mga iba't ibang I expanded myself kasi ngayon kasi ngayon ang hireability is kailangan multiple skill sets ka. Hindi lang isa lang yung skill set mo. So from electrical engineering okay to software development, so you can have those both skills then. So because people are looking right now for multiple skill set, yung flexibility ng isang tao. Okay, and if they see na meron kang growth mindset, okay, madadala mo rin yun dun sa work mo, sa career space mo and all. So after nun, okay, from engineering, develop, okay, I was invited in Accenture to become an application architect. Okay, and wala pa akong experience nun. Makikita mo yung trend ng ginagawa ko na ang tawag dito, hindi ako natatakot na pumunta dun sa isang field na magkakaiba. Okay, pero parehas lang naman kasing domain yun, technology space. Okay, so ngayon, when you have wide range of ang tawag dito, when you have wide range of experiences, makikita mo yung parang 360 view nung domain and industry kung nasaan ka. So ang sinasuggest ko, if you really want to go for it, just learn and also adapt. Okay, and yun, nakita ko yung skill set ko in architecture. Okay, I'm with Accenture for around 2 years. Okay, so I'm estimating big projects in Accenture. Okay, kung gaano kalaki yun, okay, to design yung mga blueprints and technology that is needed, okay, for that particular particular project. So, for example, okay, let me give you parang a sample ng how yung parang thought process ko on developing yung mga technology. Okay, so far, okay, I use this architectural cube. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so I break down yung requirements into different fields kasi para I view yung problem as a cube. So di ba cube has many dimensions, di ba? Parang may mga sides, okay, may nasa taas, nasa likod, nasa ilalim. Okay, those different types of dimensions na yun. Okay, may mga certain parang ang tawag dito, design, okay, or architecture that are needed, okay, for you to accomplish that. Okay, so for example, if you're focusing on as an application architect, there are many architects, by the way. So hindi lang solution architect, okay. There are many architects, types of architect. Okay, let's start with application architecture. So application architecture, okay, there are three interfaces, okay, that are related to the application. Like for example, in designing customer interaction. Okay, like for example, pag pumasok ka dun sa website or dun sa game na yun, okay, yung interface niya, okay, paano yung yung sounds, okay, paano mo ma-increase yung engagement level ng mga tao with regards to your to your website, to your page, to your project, to your mobile application. Another is integration. Integration is paano mo i-connect yung, for example, yung mobile phone dun sa mobile payment, okay, so or dun sa mga database. So that's the integration principle. Okay. Another is intelligence. So that means that yung analytics noon, you record the metrics, ilan yung pumasok, ilan yung nag-click dun sa button na yun. Kasi hindi lang basta-basta maglalagay ka ng button. Ano na yun para okay na yun. So ibig sabihin, titingnan mo rin kung yung button na yun is effective, or yung mag-heat map ka, ibig sabihin understanding ano yung most likely na people pressed, okay, in your application, okay, and yun, you gain those metrics, okay, and understand ano yung behavior and pattern ng mga users mo, okay, that's the application architecture space. So another is, if you want to focus naman on the technical architecture, ibig sabihin may specific na technology, okay, that you want, like for example, Java, C#, okay, .NET, okay, Python, okay, kung gusto mo dun sa data science. Okay, so yun yung mga iba't ibang mga platform, okay, na you can use for the technology architecture kasi you're an SME, subject matter expert, specifically for the architectural space. So when I say platform, that means that ito yung technology that you're using for building that application. It can be C# or .NET, or it can be Java or PHP, or yung ang tawag dito, yung mga mobile application natin, maybe in Android or in iOS or in Windows. So those are the different platforms that you need to consider. And if you're expert in that space, you can be a platform technical architect. Okay, so another is for example sa database naman. So if you want to work with data, SQL, or creating those analytics, okay, yung mga data visualization, okay, or data science, so that you can also learn from that particular domain of expertise, okay, and you can be an expert dun sa database na space. Okay, so another is yung infrastructure. Pag sinabing infrastructure, that means that yung underlying parang technology that makes things work or function. That means that it can be your networking. So kung magaling ka mag-connect ng mga iba't ibang mga application or host or servers, or to communicate to each other. Okay, that's networking. Another is yung servers. Okay, so there are different cloud services right now, that you can study, okay, like AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Azure. Okay, so yun yung pinaka-dalawang hot cake ngayon for technology, because everyone is going to the cloud right now. So that means that hindi na sila nag-house ng server sa kanilang ang tawag dito building facility, kasi ang tawag dito masyadong expensive to have a space, okay, to rent, okay, para i-house mo yung mga malalaking servers mo. So ang ginawa nila, okay, they use para ang tawag dito they use infrastructure as a service. Okay, so that means bumibili na lang sila ng mga virtual na ang tawag dito virtual machines, okay, sa cloud, okay, in order for them to host yung mga websites nila and applications nila. So those are your infrastructure space, and you can also be an expert with regards to that, and you can apply your engineering principles related to that. Another is functional architecture. Functional architecture is mostly in terms of the business. Like for example, understanding ano yung need nila from a functional perspective. Functional perspective, yung functionality na yun, okay, if this particular certain user, okay, will perform this particular action, ito yung result ng actions na yun. So yun, those are functional requirements, and you need to record that or analyze that if that functionality makes sense. Okay, another is non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements are requirements na hindi na consider ng stakeholders but equally important. Like for example, security. Hindi naman nila i-define na parang I need to be secure, kasi actually there are many ways to secure application. Okay, so in performance, like for example, if pagpunta ako dun sa website, okay, within 10 seconds, kailangan mag-load na yung website. Those are non-functional requirements. And that's are equally important also to design that particular solution. Another is operations, like for example, yung legality. okay, and yung compliance, like for example, in the recent ang tawag ito, law in data privacy in Europe, that's the GDPR, okay, if you're familiar with that. So yung GDPR na yun, make sure that lahat ng mga personal information are not displayed. Okay, kasi okay, it can it has implications for, like for example, identity theft, okay, and all. So, sorry, so much ang tawag dito, so much information overload. Pero these are the different ang tawag dito, facets for our architecture, and all architectural space also requires engineering, okay, capability to build those applications. And overall na yun, like for example, meron ka ng solution and solution ecosystem. Okay, you string together your solution ecosystem by parang building those blocks. So that's an enterprise architecture. So an enterprise architect is in charge of making sure that there's common solution or technology or services that are available so that you can stack up your solution. So yun yung pinaka high level ng solution architectural space. So yun, there are many things na you can explore, okay, but I guess okay, if you are good in UI or graphics, or you can go for the application space. If you're good in technology, you can go to technical space. If you're good in interfacing clients, you can go to the functional space. Yeah. Sorry, and
It's okay, sir. Wow, that's a lot to process, but really we appreciate it. Having those said, in the next 5 to 10 years, kaya, how do you see the field evolving and the skill set it would demand? If, say, you are an employer, ano yung mga traits and skills na hahanapin mo sa isang mag-a-apply sa'yo?
Okay, so ang hinahanap ko is both soft skills at saka technical skills. Kasi right now, mahirap kasi pag puro technical lang eh. Kasi parang pag puro technical lang kasi hindi naman niya able to communicate. Okay, sabi nga ng Conway's Law, if you're familiar with that in software engineering, sabi ni Conway na people design systems based on their communication processes. So that means that kung gaano kaganda yung communication process mo within the organization, ganun din kaganda yung system mo. So it is a reflection of your system that you're building. So parang pag magulo yung code mo or magulo yung application mo o hindi mo alam kung saan, so that means that there's an underlying communication problem. So in the future, okay, we're seeing more and more hybrid type na mga students that are really good in communicating and also good in technology. Okay, because those are the type of parang hireable and transferable skills, okay, that we're looking for in the next 5 years. Kasi hindi lang dapat nagfo-focus siya for specific type of technology. Kailangan parang meron siyang multiple stacks of technology under dun sa areas niya. And that can be really helpful kasi what if one industry or technology become phased out? Kasi you know that technology changes every 6 months. So yung alam mong technology ngayon, after 6 months outdated na siya kasi may bago ng ang tawag dito, framework, or may bago ng technology, or may bagong update or with regards to that particular solution, technology, or ang tawag dito, architecture. So you need to keep on learning rin as well, and also have multiple skill sets so that you can, when someone talks to you, okay, alam mo rin, hindi lang siya dun sa maliit na scope mo about development, alam mo rin siya kung why they are doing that, how to do it, and also okay, what to do. Okay, and those are the really important skill sets that you need to consider also in the software engineering space. So in the future, more and more people are using technology, and parang must have na ngayon yung internet, must have a computer. Okay, and unfortunately, like for example, yung mga call center na mga industry are also struck because of this pandemic. Okay, nag-reduce sila ng operations nila. Katulad sa amin, nag-reduce rin kami ng operations. Okay, in terms of technology, it's because ang tawag dito, yung mga tao needs parang stable internet connection, also technology that are related to call center. They can call at home kasi usually networks are hardwired. May mga network connectivity that are issues then. So may mga friends ako na ang tawag dito, hindi na rin sila mga calls kasi ang tawag dito, they have bad internet connection. So, and also they don't know how to operate on technologies then, and computers. So, by default, parang in the future, everyone's using technology. Everyone in their own different space. So I encourage parang a cross skill rin in terms of technology. So for example, in electrical engineering, and dun sa mga ano natin, we need to understand yung technology and parang add additional skill set on your inventory. Yeah.
Right. I think this is one of my most intriguing questions that I will ask you, sir. How professionally and financially rewarding is a career in IT? Guessing from your interior design dyan sa condo unit nyo, mukhang financially rewarding. Share us a little bit about it.
Okay, so actually it's really rewarding because ang tawag dito, because of globalization. Okay, so that means that yung mga technology, ang tawag dito, yung mga technology resources na kailangan nila in Europe, okay, they can go to Philippines and Southeast Asia, okay, for a more cheaper. Okay, but yung cheaper na yun na para sa kanila, it's really above dun sa ano natin, sa parang standard natin. So ngayon, when you go to technology space, actually it's really rewarding. Okay. And also sa engineering, sa software engineering rin kasi wala namang board exam yan eh. Okay, so parang walang standardization. In US they started to have licensure exam in 2013. Okay, pero dini-commission nila on April 2019 kasi parang due to lack of interest. Okay, kasi walang nag-apply kasi every now and then technology changes. Okay, and walang specific, but there are companies that push for certification. So I have a friend also na parang tawag dito who didn't have parang ang tawag dito technology degree, okay, pero naging successful siya sa technology space, okay, because of the certifications. Okay, and there are many certifications that you can actually have in terms of IT, like for example in Amazon Solution Architect or AWS Solution Architect, in Azure Solution Architecture, okay, or Solution Developer, okay, and yung mga technology, mga certifications na yun will really push you rin kasi like for example standardization in specific skill set mo. So it's really good if you're learning and then you go for the certification itself. So you find that certification standard, like if you want to go to management, you go for project management certification, yung PMP certification. If you go for service operations, that means that you want to support clients, customer satisfaction. You go for ITIL certification, that's IT infrastructure library, from Europe na certification. And yeah, those are the different parang certifications that you can go as well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now, in an article by Raj Jana, he's a founder of Java Press Coffee Company. He argues that creating a work-life balance is possible. Rather, we must work towards creating a harmony of life. What's your take on work-life balance and how do you prioritize, given that you are a president of a faith-based community of 40 churches and schools and vice president for solutions in the largest and most trusted one-stop shop for credit card loan and insurance service in the country, incoperma.com.
Yeah, so actually it's an interesting question kasi as we all know, we only have 24 hours per day, right?
Yes.
And hindi ka naman, you can have more. And actually, it's really important to manage your time. There's a principle na I used to coach yung mga clients ko, okay, on their career development, okay, for ang tawag dito, about 5 hats. Okay, if you're familiar with 5 hats, you can only have 5 roles in your life, and kasi sa fingers mo. So kung more than, pag lumagpas na yung 5 role, pag lumagpas na sa 5 yung mga roles mo, okay, that means that may mga magi-give up ka. Ano yung mga roles na yun? Like for example, you're a father, you are ang tawag dito, a computer programmer, okay, you are a son, okay, you are a tito. Tito na ako eh. Okay, tapos you can be like for example, volunteer. Nag-volunteer ka pa. Tapos pag sinobrahan mo pa yan, like nagdagdag ka pa ng additional parang workload in your life. Mobile gamer, o kaya tapos ano ba. So ngayon, may mga masasacrifice ka dito. Okay, so that means that maybe yung career mo masasacrifice mo because mahilig ka mag-party o kaya mahilig ka mag-mobile games. Okay, that means that kasi saka learning, okay, kasi ka-prioritize mo yun. Learning is also a role for me. So that means that it's up to you. Okay, you can maximize kung what are yung priorities mo in your life. Okay, so on my end, so I want to be successful in my career, so sinacrifice mo yung love life ko. Ganun, tapos okay. Tapos yung ano naman sa ayun, tito na rin ako, nag-aalaga ako ng pamangkin ko. Tapos I'm also a son, okay, and also I'm leading a non-profit organization. So yeah, it's really about understanding ano yung mga priorities and goals mo sa life mo that makes you really productive also. Okay? Kasi you cannot juggle on multiple jobs or multiple careers or multiple roles in your life. Maximum 5. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really nice tip for us there. Perhaps my last question would be, you mentioned earlier na your season of enlightenment came when you entered the seminary or before you were enlightened and then you went to the seminary. If I may, na-miss ko ata kanina, kung meron man naka-miss na sinabi ko kanina, si Sir Raim Canete is also a pastor. So Pastor Raim, Reverend Raim, can you please tell us who is Jesus and how did he impact your life choices?
Okay, so in traditionally, I won't, hindi naman ako traditional na type of Christian. Okay, I'm a progressive. So that means that I'm looking forward for hope in the future. Okay, and also thinking yung parang culture. Okay, kasi I really studied parang ancient history and I love mga ancient history like Egyptian, Assyriology, mga Greeks, Roman culture. Okay, and understanding that makes me parang gives me a high definition view of yung binabasa nating mga ancient texts. Kasi usually pag binabasa mo yung ancient text without a context, parang it loses its parang meaning and nagiging literal interpretation na yun. For me, Jesus is a great protester. Okay, that means that talagang rebelde siya eh. Hindi siya nag-i-stop din sa situation. Like for example, ayokong maging parang status quo. Okay? Yeah. And maraming mga dominant culture, okay, especially in Jesus' time, like yung Roman Empire. And yun yung na nag-o-oppress dun sa mga tao, dun sa mga ang tawag dito, dun sa mga yung mga slaves, lagi nilang pinapahirapan. So Jesus protested against dun sa mga tao na yun, and he wants to make a better place. So for me, okay, Jesus is the greatest example of a protester, and I want to follow that particular protest. Yeah.
Wow, a good protest. And how did he impact your life choices?
So yeah, so that means that ako I make myself parang hopeful in the future. Okay, like always risk taker. Okay, mataas yung risk taking ability ko. So that means that I want to really understand more things, okay, and para learn more. So yun yung isa sa mga naka-impact sa akin. Okay, and it changes my life. Hindi lang about personal Lord and Savior, traditional na yun. Okay, what I see is I want also people na parang maging to protest in their own life na parang no, I want to make a change, I want to make a difference, okay, I can impact my family, my friends, okay, and also my technology space or my industry, okay, that I work with. So I encourage everyone, if you were not sure yet, okay, I think he's the greatest example of a revolutionary, and you can start your own personal revolution in your life as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very interesting view and perspective. Thank you very much for sharing, sir. Medyo personal yung question, but you still answered. Thank you very much. Now, it's perhaps one of the most exciting time. I'm opening up the floor for students to ask their
Yeah,
questions.
go ahead. Yeah.
You may raise your hands. Merong raise hands functionality here. If you want to ask a question, I will enable your microphone. Or pwede mo rin naman i-message ako if you want me to ask Sir Raim yung question mo. So guys, please, do you have any questions? Anyone?
Huwag kayong mahiya Mabait ako.
Ako lang ba ang di nakakita ng raising of hands or message? Ay, hindi ko ata na-enable. Hindi, naka-host only lang. Guys, any question? I'm looking at Giancarlo De La Rosa and Vincent Saclolo. These are some of our good students.
Hi, Jean.
Wala pa ata sila. But here's a question, sir. From Elimer Lucero. He asked, can you give a common technical skills na kailangan po if you want to pursue software development?
Okay, technical skills. Okay, you need to have a good hack on a particular programming language. Okay, wala naman akong specific na parang nire-recommend na programming language because I'm a technology agnostic. So that means that wala akong kinakampi ang technology kasi all technology will fade. So yun yung paniniwala ko. But of course, there are always technology that are effectively will impact yung at a certain period. Okay, for example, right now, if you are interested in mobile development, okay, study Java. Yeah, so those are the technology skill set that you can leverage with study C#. Okay, if you want to go to Microsoft route, if you want to go for open source Java development, okay, and also for example yung sa Swift for iOS, if you want to build application in mobile. So if you want to focus naman on mga servers and also on hosting, okay, yung cloud na skill set, so that can be Amazon Web Services and Azure Web Services. Hindi pala, Azure pala, Microsoft Azure. So yung Azure, okay, if you're, those are Microsoft technology. So yung Windows Server, yung mga Windows SQL Server, okay, and marami pang mga iba na technology on Azure. Okay, so sa sa Amazon naman, they have similar ways then, pero more open source sa Amazon, okay, which is really good then. Okay, and mostly 60% of in the industry using cloud, especially here in Philippines, are in Amazon. So yeah, you can study that as well. Yeah. Hindi kita marinig.
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Thank you for that, sir. Ang next nating may question po is si Jean. Jean?
Good morning po.
Jean, good morning.
Quick question lang po. Kasi gumagawa po kasi ako ng projects for clients from time to time po. And then inevitable po talaga na merong mag-a-adjust or dagdag sa requirements. So do you have any tips on how to deal with scope creep?
Yeah, so actually that's a good question kasi scope creeping is actually normal yan. Changes, okay.
Okay.
May dalawang methodology ngayon na popular sa software development. Yung isa is waterfall. Okay, so that means that there's a certain phases that is ang tawag ito, that are followed, okay, like for example from requirements to implementation to deployment. Okay, pero usually dun sa development time hindi mo kino-communicate yung clients mo, walang feedback loop. Okay, so yung waterfall lang yun, parang may certain lang. Tapos pagdating dun sa dulo, okay, ayaw na pala ng client kasi nag-change na yung needs nila. Okay, or nag-change na yung functionality and requirement kasi okay, hindi ka nag-respond for feedback. Okay, another methodology is called agile methodology, wherein we embrace changes. Okay, so usually kasi there are two types rin ng projects. Okay, if you're billing clients, Okay, they're ang tawag dito, project-based. Okay, so ibig sabihin, isang buong project na yun, babayaran nila. Or time and material. So that means that araw-araw, when you're building, okay, babayaran ka nila every day. Okay, hanggang matapos yung project na yun. Okay, mostly kasi yung ineffective yung ang tawag dito, project-based na costing okay, sa isang project.
Okay.
Kasi ang tawag dito, nag-change sila ng requirements. Okay, kung merong scope creeping. Kasi pag nag-scope creep, ibig sabihin, i-identify mo lang dapat kung ano yung minimum viable product or yung minimum ang tawag dito, features ng products mo. Tapos, kung sumobra na sila, additional feature requirements na yun, ibig sabihin, yun yung next phase of iteration ng project mo. So, ibig sabihin, i-on hold mo muna yun. Okay, so for example, if you really want this, okay, ito yung cost nun. Okay, additional project scope yun. Kasi you cannot stop yung changes dun sa project. Okay, kasi people will always add features over time into a project kasi nakikita nila yung benefits ng project mo. So as long as na parang you know how to negotiate, kaya nga sinabi ko very important yung communication because negotiation is another thing. Okay, you put that into the clause ng contract. Okay, na parang if there's any more addition dun sa sa scope mo, then that's an additional costing as well. Okay, yeah. Kasi when scope increases, resources increases as well, or cost increases as well. I think yung people constraints ng project management.
All right. Thank you po, sir.
All right. Thanks, Jean. Our next question will be coming from Vincent. Vincent Soclolo. Vincent, please.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Vincent. Good morning.
Hello po. Question ko po about sa management po pagdating po sa malalaki pong project. Kasi po na nag-OJT po ako sa maliit na company. Bali po, nagpo-push lang po kami sa isang master branch kasi maliit lang po. Tapos nag-aaway-aaway na po kami. Paano pa naman po pag malaking company po tapos napakarami pong mga developers? Paano po nag-ano na wala po masyadong conflict?
Okay, so usually kasi may mga tinatawag na release managers dyan. So yung release managers yung in charge of deploying those changes. Sila rin in charge na nagmamanage ng mga branches. So para sa mga hindi nakakalam, ang branch is a repository okay, ng mga project. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag may master, yun yung pinaka-main branch. Okay, tapos yung mga iba, may mga feature branch. So usually, ang practices is, ang tawag dito, feature branching. So that means that each teams na merong certain feature na dine-develop dun sa enhancements, okay, sila yung merong sarili silang branch, tapos mini-merge, yun yung sinasabi ni Vincent. Vincent ba? Tama? So, ngayon yung usually yung release manager is the one or product manager is the one who integrates the changes to the master branch. Sila yung nagsasabi talaga kung yung mga changes mo is affecting other branches as well. So, another is it's not just about role, actually also it's communication. So, because lahat ng mga changes sa software development will always affect other teams. So you need to communicate ano yung effect nito so that they can also adjust on their end. Okay, and yun, in communication is 90% of the job actually. Yeah.
Thank you,
You
sir.
will not avoid conflict. Okay, you will not avoid yung away-away na yan. Okay, because there will be always impact. Yeah. So communicate. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's a good question, Vincent. Thank you for that. We have here some further questions, sir. I think this is a good one. Sabi ni Anthony, sir, question po, ano po yung process and action nila to test and find bugs in an application?
Test and find bugs. Depende kasi may mga tinatawag na automated testing din. So these are test scripts that are run using a particular framework like Selenium. Okay, they're running on, pero it's good kasi you're asking these questions and I encourage everyone to do some sort of hassle then. Like for example, while you're still waiting on lockdown, actually you can earn money. Okay, like going to parang as a freelance, okay, may mga magsa-side story muna. Okay, may mga in-encourage ko to kasi we're going to a gig economy. So gig economy is hindi lang specific na parang meron kang parang job tapos merong employment. an employer, okay, tapos you're going for that particular career. There's also another type of career, is called freelancer, and yung mga freelancer na yun, okay, parang are hustling. So you can have more projects on your end kasi parang you're entertaining mga projects. Okay, there are websites like that, like Upwork, okay, or Fiverr.com or freelancer.com that you can go to and then offer your services, okay, and then they will pay you, okay, a handsome amount, depending on your skill set and also your popularity dun sa website na yun. So in line with the question on testing, ano yung testing process, okay, usually simple lang naman yung testing process. Okay, you need to identify, okay, what type of things that you want to test. Okay, are you testing functional? Are you testing the system? Are you testing ganun? Tapos ngayon, ask the question, can this be automated? Kasi, or is this exploratory, manual, or session? Okay, so yun yung mga type ng mga questions na yun. And then you can automate that, okay, if it's possible to automate. Okay, and you focus on your testing and your test scripts. So actually, simple lang naman yung testing process. Okay, from test, acceptance criteria analysis. So ang acceptance criteria is yun yung mga ang tawag dito, yun yung mga definition ng client, okay, in order for them to accept, okay, na valid yung mga changes na ginawa mo in production. Okay, so those are acceptance criteria. So you need to learn ano yung if your acceptance criteria, okay, analyze that acceptance criteria. Then after that, create your test scripts, okay, that are related to that acceptance criteria, okay, and then test all types of scenario. Okay, pwedeng happy path muna, so ibig sabihin lahat magaganda yung tapos next naman is yung mga iba't ibang path, like for example may error o kaya monkey testing kasi ganun mo lang yung keyboard, okay, mag-function ba yung application mo and all. Okay, there are other types of tests that you can also look into, like stress testing, okay, smoke testing, okay, integration testing, and regression testing. So there are a lot of testing frameworks that you can go there. I can go on and on, okay, with regards to this, or maybe we can have another session for software testing.
Nice. Sir, I think same strand lang yung question na to. Genten and Krim are actually asking if there is actually parang commonly asked question, is there any particular programming language na kailangang malaman to be able to have a good career in IT?
There are many surveys like that, like top 10 programming languages.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos titingnan mo kung ano yung mga programming languages that are out there. Tapos another tip is to go to jobstreet.com. Mm-hmm. Tapos i-type mo yung mga programming languages na yon, hindi yung definition, like for example software engineer, ganun, hindi. Okay, i-type mo C#, i-type mo Java, tapos tingnan mo kung ilan yung lumabas. Okay, so makikita mo yung demand. Okay, because this is called demand analysis. Okay, so understand the demand during that particular period and you will know, okay, ano yung in demand. Kasi you can go for that particular track. Okay, pero if you're really sure, mahirap kasi mag-shift from one language to the next. Okay, kasi that's a whole different system. So you need to really be decisive kung ano yung language na gusto mo. Pero there are other people that are really good in multiple languages. Like for example, Java, HTML, hindi man language HTML. Pero yun, and JavaScript or C#, okay, alam nila yung mga iba't ibang mga program. As long as you know the theory behind the programming languages and understand ano yung syntax, grammar ng language na yun.
Nice.
Very basic.
For our last question, Jean will be the one asking the last question.
Oh my God. Hi again, sir. Kanina po, na-mention po saglit yung user software metrics where you collect heat maps or user interaction data. How do they help software developers or development in general? Like, hindi po ba sapat na i-build lang yung application and then release na and then that's it?
All right. So actually, there are different different methodologies also in developing applications. So there are also behavior-driven development. Okay, so behavior-driven development, that means that understanding ano yung behavior ng clients mo, okay, and ng users mo. Okay, tapos ano yung mga sino yung audience mo on sa mga applications mo, kasi that will also change, impact yung usage ng technology mo. Kasi parang when you build an application tapos wala namang gumagamit, and that doesn't make sense. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung isang feature na yun hindi pala effective. Okay, why put that? Kasi you put an effort and resources with regards to that particular feature, tapos wala namang gagamit, so that means nonsense. So another thing is value mapping, so understanding ano yung valuable dun sa client. Okay, and i-map mo yun, how will that value impact dun sa sa application mo.
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
All right. A really, really last question, sir, briefly. Lara asks, do software engineers work on both front end and back end, or just mostly on back end?
Okay, so actually there are many types of parang software engineer. Kasi parang you start with sa mga magpo-pursue ng software engineer career, which I definitely encourage every one of you to go for that. Kalimutan nyo na yung sorry kung may mga professor. So, si Dean pa naman nanonood. Okay, so sorry ba. Okay, pero I definitely encourage you to go for software engineering, because that's the trend. Okay, siguro i-type niyo yung course niyo dun sa jobstreet.com, tingnan mo ilan yung mga results, tapos i-type mo naman software engineering, tingnan mo yung result. Tapos kayo nang magsabi kung ano yung demand. Okay, so ngayon naman, so kasi you start from basic na entry-level engineer. Entry-level engineer means parang bibigyan ka ng mga change request, mga ganun-ganun, tapos you try your knack for that particular request. So after that, around parang 4 years, you can be promoted as tech lead. So you're leading a particular team or particular technology. And after another 4 years, you can be a technology manager. Technology manager is managing multiple teams. Then after, or multiple projects, not necessarily a team. And after technology manager or project manager, you can be a parang technology director or a head of technology, which is parang you're developing policies, strategy for the organization. So that and processes for the organization. So that's typical for an executive. So yun yung parang career roadmap ng mga software engineering. So or software engineers, or kung hindi naman management yung area mo or sa technology mismo, individual contributor, you can be an architect, kasi architect is more senior and executive role. So you can be parang hindi madaling makapunta ng architect pag junior ka agad. So mag-experience ka muna ng engineering, then you go for an architecture role. Okay, so to answer yung nakalimutan yung question.
Software or back-end or mostly?
Okay, so ngayon, during yung ang tawag ito, during yung experiences mo on the entry level, you will realize ano yung expertise mo. Kasi may mga expertise on the front end, tapos may mga expertise rin on the back end. So understanding na kung ano yung areas of expertise mo, like for example, yung ang tawag dito, UI, or you're good at CSS and JavaScript, that means that you can go for a front end developer. So kung magaling ka naman on interfacing, yung networking, and also service oriented architecture, talking to different services, talking to API, and talking to database, you can go for back end. So yun yung two types. If you're more on creative type, I see you can go for a front end, and if you're more on analytical type, and you can go for back end. So it really depends on your preference.
Wow, thank you so much, Sir Raim. Nag-extend. Sabi ni Lara, understood daw po. Thank you daw, sir.
You're welcome.
Wow, thank you, sir. Nag-extend na tayo ng 11 minutes. We are really beyond time. Thank you for spending your time with us. I hope the students, you students, got insight, valuable insight in trying to at least get a hold of a wider picture after you graduate with the field, with the ICT field. Yun. So guys, let us appreciate Sir Raim for spending his precious time with us. Palakpakan naman natin si Sir if you can open your mics. Thank you, Sir.
Dito daw
Thank you,
pala
sir.
practical na.
Yan wala,
Thank you,
yes, sir.
sir.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you po, sir.
Guys, okay, if you have questions, feel free to message me in LinkedIn. Okay, and you can find my name there. And also, I entertain career questions as well. So if you really want to me to help you, okay, and navigate this confusing world right now, okay, please message me. Yeah.
Nako, thank you so much, sir. That's too much already. But thank you for offering up that. I'll post them your LinkedIn profile so that whenever they have a question, they can send you one. Thank you so much, Sir Rain, for your time. Appreciate po you spending your precious time with us. And I think na-appreciate din ng marami ng mga students, all of these ECEs graduating, I think, this year. So,
you guys.
Yun. Thank you, sir, so much. And hopefully, ma-meet ko uli kayo soon so I can personally thank you and appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Oh my God bless everyone.
Salamat po. Bye. Bye po, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye. All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you learned something from that talk from Sir Raim. Siguro magpo-proceed na tayo dun sa virtual tour natin. Actually, medyo unannounced and medyo late. But I was able to ask si Sir Albert Velasco, who is CNSSO 3 sa Tagaytay Radar. He will be joining us actually a bit later to answer your questions. But I asked him kung a favor kung pwede niya ba tayong i-tour, virtual tour sa facility sa Tagaytay. And he did so, no? So medyo nagulat ako. Appreciate him for doing that. So I think Nicole prepared the playlist or the video na papanoorin natin. And then later on after that, we're gonna have a Q&A session and then lunch. We'll end by around 12. Yan. So I hope you stick around. Sige. Mag-CR break kayo for 5 minutes. We'll be back by 11:20. 11:20.